This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
And welcome back to Random Ish with Sanja. We're talking self-love and the crazy things that us women have done behind men. I'm talking with Destini. She is a singer-songwriter out from the West Coast. What's up, girl? So, you know, we've been confessing. We've been telling a little bit of confessions over here with some of our craziness. Now, let's rewrap you. So I'm kind of more of the bachelorette, and Destini is more of the relationship chick. We're talking about the marriage and how your parents, are they still together?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so this is, why we gotta be so textbook though? So her parents are still together. My parents did get divorced. My mother and father got divorced, and then both of them remarried their childhood sweethearts, and then they got divorced, right? So I'm a product of divorce, and so I've got this whole like thing going on. And this is a woman who's seen family growing up. Her parents are still together. So growing up and seeing your parents' marriage, how did that, besides just like making you want that, do you feel like you learned some, like, do you feel like you've learned some really good how to pick a guy nuggets?
Well, at first, no. I think that now, me being older, now I do, because it's more so in like finding myself and figuring out what I want. Or like, because, not every marriage, and that's what I've learned as well growing up, not every marriage is perfect. And when I was younger, I never seen the downside of marriages, so you just think that mom and dad is happy all the time, but marriages go through, they go through things. So, that's basically what I feel about marriages.
Do you want to get married right away, or how are you feeling? Are you looking for Mr. Right? Because you're a relationship chick. So I'm so curious about this, because I used to kind of think that, to date somebody, you're dating with the goal of it turning into like a relationship and going into marriage and that nature. I feel like my viewpoint has changed. Do you have that viewpoint?
More, that used to be my viewpoint of like, okay, if I'm dating with intent. Mm-hmm. But no, not anymore, because now I want to get myself right, like, and be the woman where I no longer need a man. I want you. So I'm basically focusing on myself. So right now I'm not dating. I'm not looking to date. I'm just like loving me.
I love that, because they do say, I don't think that women do it intentionally, but they do say that once you start loving yourself and you're like taking care of yourself and you put yourself first, that's when somebody will just, boop, show up right there on your doorstep. So I'm into manifesting and into energy, and I heard you earlier, talking a little about being a healer and how healers kind of attract people that need to be healed. Can I ask you a question? So how did you come to know that that's what was going on, that you were basically just attracting like these broken people?
And it literally just happened. Like, I just found out or noticed it. I'm just going to be transparent on like how the self-love, or like how my self-love journey occurred. Like, it was December, beginning of December. And it was a situation where like I was just like betrayed by somebody that I cared so much about. And right after that hurt, I ended up, and I want to say like my condolences to everybody who lost their loved ones in the COVID. But in that hurt, I ended up being COVID positive. So it was like that. And then right after.
Oh my gosh.
And then not only that, I was, taking care of myself, and my parents were like so on me about being, staying away 6 feet and all that stuff because I had asthma. So I just knew that I was fine. But in that time of quarantine, that allowed me to just sit with myself, like by myself.
Right.
So, and that's basically what self-love is, taking time to understand who you are, understand what your traumas were, understand what happened in childhood, because a lot of times you go into situations not knowing that you are like looking for a dad. So you try to find that in a man. Yeah. That's what happened with me on my self-love journey. And I'm still currently on it. But in the beginning, I just sat myself down. I wrote out, who is Destini? I wrote out a whole list. Who is Destini? What does Destini love? So now, yeah, I used to attract those type of men, but because I know who I am and I know what to look for, or I know what ain't right.
The red flag, girl.
Flags, they are always there in the beginning. You're not tripping.
No, seriously. No, seriously. It's one of those things that I think we do, when we're falling in love with the potential. And even when you're like, okay, me being transparent, I have a tendency to mess with guys who have a ton of red flags. Why? Because I'm like, I ain't looking to be with you, so I don't care about your red flag. But the thing is that sometimes that can come to bite you in the booty, because you think that you're going to be able to stay apart and kind of keep it at that level. Again, we're going to remind you again, ladies, okay? So if you're trying to keep it at a casual level, there's certain things that you got to do. Do not let that man spend the night at your house. Do not kiss that man, no matter what it is you do. Don't you kiss him. Don't you do that, all right? And don't introduce him to your family. Why are people doing that? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, don't only introduce a man to your family if you feel like he is the one, and like it is it. I'm just saying, don't do any of that. But you gotta, even if we think that we're able to keep it casual, I don't know if it's time, because sometimes I think it's time. You know what I mean? If you mess with somebody for too long, then all of a sudden you start having feelings for them and stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's what happens. I think that's what happens to a lot of ladies. I think maybe a lot of us do think that we're going to dive in and we're just going to just barely sweep the surface, and we find out we're all stuck like Chuck with these guys. It ends up being just, a horrible thing. But I like that you took the time, especially during the quarantine. The quarantine time period for us, it's been about a year. I was just in the store and I was saying to somebody, it's starting to affect me. Like, I do like to spend time with myself. I enjoy myself. And so I think too much, and so I'm in my thoughts a lot. And I too, when I had to go through that self-love journey, I'm loving that it's always basically the same thing. If you get a little bit of time by yourself to yourself, and you're not watching the movies, you're not distracting yourself with the phone, you're not distracting yourself, period. And you just get along with them thoughts, things start to come up in your mind, memories, triggers, all kinds of things start to happen. And even though you go over it in your head, now, can I ask you, do you find this, that even though now you know what's going on, you know what it is that you're doing, when you're in your day-to-day life, does it always mean that you're making the right decision?
No, I'm not always making the right decisions, no.
Right? So I feel like that's something else that needs to be really talked about, because I don't feel like people necessarily tell the truth about that part. It always seems like it's just, oh girl, I started loving myself and that was it. and I found me, the man. No, it's we still mess up and we still make some of those crazy decisions, but it is about the self-love. And may I ask you, do you have any, so you said that you see the red flags now. Do you have any what's the word I'm looking for? Do you have like questions? Have you created like, are there things, are there signals, signs, signs and smoke signals that you now have that, oh, wait a second, okay, I can proceed. You're not seeing anybody now, but I'm just saying, have you come up with some, for that when you're out there and you meet somebody and you've been talking for a couple of weeks, do you now feel like you have some smoke signal signs that this person is now worthy of my time? So like, can we share on what are some of the good qualities that we feel like a guy who's got it together is going to be doing?
First of all, I that got it together in my mind, I want him to, one, I know like in our community, therapy isn't a thing. However, I need a man that has been to therapy, is currently in therapy. I need a man that is working on himself. I need a man who is God-fearing. I need a family man. I'm not against a man that already has a baby, but that is going to for sure be a question. Like, do you have kids? How many? Like, what's the dynamic of you and the mother of your child? Mm-hmm. Like just for me to know and for me to be, assured in that person.
Yes.
That's basically what my questions would be. I know people be like, where would you see yourself in 5 years and stuff like that. I kind of think that that's cliche because I can see myself in 5 years, but in 5 years, I have to.
Exactly. Well, that's the funny thing about life is that life has a tendency that even as a manifester and energy wise, you can put out the energy that you want something to happen and it happens, but it doesn't necessarily happen the way that you thought it was going to happen, but it does happen, so it's like you don't want to close yourself off. Like, I do think that whole where do you see yourself in 5 years is such a cliche question that, I hate even when I hear that. The funny thing is for myself, I don't even know that I have come up with, well, actually there's one. If I think to talking about energy and the universe and his eyes don't roll in the back of his head, then I know that that's somebody I can continue to talk to for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my one, my one true knowing that for myself, you know what I mean? This is somebody that I can whatever other things that are going on, because that 80-20 rule they say. So whatever other things that are going on that I'm kind of like, I can kind of because I'm into energy and it's not very, there's not a lot of guys. Girls, black girl magic, we are all over it, right? But the guys, not so much, right? Not so much. Well, you know what, Destini? It was so great talking to you about relationships and self-love. Now we got to get into some of that self-love. I know that you've been working on projects. You're a singer-songwriter, like I mentioned. And that the post that I saw of you singing in the car, great voice, by the way. And I'm looking at, your journey. I see that you are over here twerking and working on it, and growing as an artist. And I feel like right now, maybe this whole quarantine, because I want to say, I'm standing you right now. I want to say that post was in January. And so now that I just heard of your December story, was the January post of where you were talking about, I have overcome and I'm here now. I take it that was because of that situation. Go ahead, girl. I like that. Break it down.
I actually posted that because from that December situation, even with the music, I didn't really know who my audience was. So I didn't even know who I was as an artist or as a musician. So me being in the quarantine by myself and figuring out who I was, I also found out who I stood for. And it's mainly, women and people who did not know who they were, because I already went through that.
Right.
So now my music, without knowing, I was writing for them and I was singing for them, but I did not know that that's what I was doing.
Isn't it the most amazing thing with the universe, how your life and the things that you go through and how with the entanglement, we have all of these, billions of people on the planet, and we think we're so separate. We think that we're like, living these different lives. But what's really happening is as you are in, in flux of learning something new, and then you step forward and then you're speaking upon it, you find out that there's so many other people out there who are exactly where you were, and how your work, especially as creators, is really speaking to that person. So payback, the payback. She coming with the payback. Okay. I'm loving it. So the music is on Spotify, and that whole transformation, because you already have music that's on Spotify. December happened, January came through, new bird, and so you're working on a new project that will be hopefully released later on this year. So is that new music going to all be a reflection of the newfound, or not even newfound, but the new level, that new upgrade of self-love? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, actually, this project, people, because of my Music Mondays, they felt like I was a rapper because I was in the car doing my Music Mondays. I'm not a rapper. I am very much so a singer. However, I can rap. So now I try to. I'm not gonna say I can. I'm not a rapper. But
right, girl, I be correcting myself quick. No. I ain't got no bars. No. Because our community, they don't play. Don't say something like that.
Because I'm not freestyling. I write, but it works on the beat. So this project, I'm kind of down to that. But this project, I am still speaking the same message, but because of what I went through, I'm kind of a tad bit fed up. So it's going to come off as like somebody did me because somebody did.
Because they did.
So that's what this project kind of like, some sweet and some spicy.
Yes. You know what? It's interesting that you say that, because I feel like as far as the energy goes, that's something that I too have been harping on, is that we get this, like, because you're an energy person, you get this false label that you're just always positive and that everything's all sweet, when reality is that when you're about the energy, sometimes that energy is telling you to go off. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's just what it is that you got to do. So, the payback, she's coming with it. She's coming with it to get a little bit of the betrayal revenge. It's so funny because I too had a crazy, but it wasn't a guy, it was a friend, and I think that even for us women nurturing, it doesn't always necessarily, it's not always a guy that you're giving too much to. You could be doing the exact same thing sometimes with your friendships as well. So it's definitely important that we are checking ourselves with friends and with our love interests, So I like it. She's gonna be sweet and spicy on this up and coming release. But you've got some music that's out now. Where can they hear it?
It's called Payback on Spotify and on all music platforms. I just want to clear the payback thing. Everybody thinks that payback is for get back. Payback is for loving yourself and becoming the—
Oh, you mean pay yourself back? Oh, I like that.
People didn't get it, but I'm a double in my mind, I think double. So,
yeah.
Or double meanings.
Yeah.
So everybody thought that payback was on some revenge type things, but the revenge is being a better you and leveling up. So it's a whole story. So it goes from slow grind to, saying we were talking about not catching feelings. We're going to go through this and we ain't going to catch feelings. And at the end, like, or towards the middle, you're going through, you know, like starting to feel them, starting to like them, starting to want love from them. And then like reclaiming my time is like, hold up. You doing way too much,
girl.
And you know, you get back to the money on your mind because you on your grind, and then it's the payback because now I got my money on my mind. I'm getting myself right. Now I'm paying you back because of the revenge, and that's or the being better. Like Beyonce say, best revenge is your paper.
No, seriously, the best thing that you can do is get your own stuff together, boo. Okay, I love it. So I like that you got the double meaning for the payback. I love double meanings. So the payback, instead of being about the revenge, guys, you got to go and check it out. It's on Spotify, right? Are you on SoundCloud too?
On all music platforms, it's there.
Awesome. And just wait. And what are they looking at when they go to look for you? Just Destini or Destiny? What's your Spotify name?
Yeah, it's Destiny Payback. It's another Destiny too that sings. I have to clear that too. I'm going to be like officially saying that I'm just Destiny.
I know
like
that.
My Instagram for my next project.
I know. Listen, I have that saying. Listen, I don't know what it is, but sometimes you have that. There's another Sandra Denise, and we're just gonna leave that. But been looking at it over the years, and you know, her name has changed, and now it's Sandra Denise, and so sometimes things get confused. So you look it up, and it's her face, and I think like her name and her face showed up like on my Apple Music thing. You know what I mean? It was just like, wait, no, that's not. That ain't me. So good. Make sure that you definitely clear that up. Well, you know what, Destiny, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time out and hanging out with a chick, talking about some self-love, some of the stupid things that we've done. And again, shouts out to all of the ladies who are out there on social media telling some of the stupid things that they've done behind love, behind the D, and really clearing the air and being transparent. I got to tell you that it's given even myself inspiration to go on ahead, start telling the story, girl. Go on ahead, let the world know. Go on ahead, let them know. That smile. I had a guest on 2 weeks ago who said, I earned this joy. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have to start using that, right? Earn this joy.
Word.
We earned this, boo-boo. And on that note, we're going to get on out of here. Make sure that you go to all of the music platforms, wherever it is that you're listening to music, and go and check out Destiny Payback. And look forward to her new project with the leveling up of the self-love coming later on this year. Oh, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram, just Destiny, JSTDESTINI, just Destiny.
Boom! Make sure that you hit her up and follow her on Instagram. All right, girlfriend. Well, you get out there, get back to your new project. You enjoy. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with a chica. And we're just going to keep on doing the black girl magic and some self-love. See you.
This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
96.7 The Buzz. I am so excited. So the other day, my book arrived. Yes, I just wrote a second book, Manifest Beauty. The first one is Your Life is the Beauty. This one is Twerk the Energy from Hoping to Knowing, sharing stories of how I tap in, sharing stories of my coincidences and synchronicities. What's funny is that I've even given an example of, how to increase your awareness of your synchronicities, and how if other people are not picking up on it and they're not going to pick up on it, like, don't get discouraged, because if you explain it to them, it's going to mess everything up, right? So told that little story, gave an example, and then what was dope is literally a month later, on a day that I was very, very like angry and sad, but needed some type of comfort and was hanging out with friends, and the exact story that I told as an example happened. The book is full of that. So it's full of examples and synchronicities and stories so that you could pick up on when the energy is at work in your life and how you can follow those nudges to get, your dream life. I'm just saying. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a perfect life, but it does mean you're going to have a whole lot more fun in life. And considering what's going on in the world, you kind of need it. It's Manifest Beauty, Twerk the Energy from Hoping to Knowing on Amazon and also on shopmanifestbeauty.com.